Is this gonna be the new thing for Diablo 4? Is this gonna be the new meta? New season, best that there ever was. It's a comeback story. 2 weeks passing. New season, worse than previous season. Diablo 4 is no longer slop. It's pig gruel. You don't even want to give it to pigs, it's that bad. I don't even know what to say. Honestly, I'm running out of Megan Fox thumbnails to actually use for my Diablo 4 bad content even at this point. It looks really bad. And honestly, I feel for Riker, okay? He wants a good Diablo 4 season. I'm sitting here having a great time personally because I have given up all hopes on Diablo franchise in general. Everything Blizzard does is just stupid, if we're being honest. So, I at least can laugh about this, but this guy's getting like, best season ever, and then you can see the everything just drain from his face and pain set in. Oh lord. Some things never change.
The Season 11 test server ended this week. I got a bit more testing in since last week's video, and I'll go over my final thoughts now. Now, I believe I've said pretty much every season, if not literally every season, since the game launched, that whatever newest season is the best season yet. But I think if season...
I did not pre-watch the video, it's just I have seen all of Riker's videos.
11 launches pretty much as is, then season 10 will remain the best season. So I had these notes that I jotted down during stream.
I forgot what makes season 10 actually good, because I'm pretty sure nothing made it good. Okay, boys, listen. I will play the next season. Pinky swear, pinky promise, okay? I'm playing the next season. Probably not, but you know, it was worth a try.
On the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the change to tempering, overall, good. Being able to pick the affix we wanted is exactly what we wanted, but dropping down to...
Wait. The thing about tempering is, and I think I watched the Rex video or something, I don't remember who I watched, but that person was exactly on point about the new tempering system. Now it's not even fucking fun. Now tempering feels like absolutely nothing. It doesn't even feel special. Now it's just something you're forced to do, and it feels like a, you know, -0 type of experience.
Exactly what we wanted, but dropping down to only one tempered affix will be unpopular for a lot of players. Even though this probably does not reflect a decrease in power, since we're gaining an extra main affix on legendary.
Bro, no one even knows how much damage they're doing in this stupid game.
Here. That said, the extra main affix isn't that exciting.
When your damage is between literally 2,000 and 275 trillion, no one even knows.
Because affixes aren't that interesting in general. The tempered affixes were actually the most interesting affixes. Still, I can see tempering made a bit more interesting by widening the gap on the affix ranges, give us more reason to want to reroll and more excitement for landing a max roll on a tempered affix. The changes to monster combat, you feel the monsters behaving more intelligently early game.
Yeah, press X to doubt.
Late game, you don't really feel it, but you do feel...
Yeah, press X to agree. I told you the moment I heard that. Like, changing the way that monsters behave was fundamentally the most retarded idea ever, when the endgame literally revolves of you somehow pulling everything on screen in one clump and perma-stunning it. Like, who cares how the monsters act at that point? That perma-stun, they can't do anything.
Feel all the myriad new enemy affixes. So there's a lot more dodging and maneuvering to avoid getting hit by all these things. The game is getting visually more noisy with this. I'm getting too old to play bullet hell games with a million things happening on screen. Potion changes, I like them. Having only 4 potions feels more dangerous. You can't just spam 8 potions in a row. That said, potion drops are maybe too plentiful right now, because in practice I don't think I ever...
Okay. What is this, though? This is the best thing that has happened to Diablo 4. These orbs looking different is so nice, okay? This is the best change, and ironically, this godforsaken game has ever done. These orbs look cool, okay? This is so much better than what we have had. The best change in all of Diablo's history, and no one's talking about it. What do you mean? This looks fun. I wanna collect these orbs. I know they're the same thing that we had previously, but now at least they look cool. Like, bruv, come on.
Actually ran out of potions. The Lesser Evils invading Sanctuary. Very cool. The Pit is more fun now with Belial in it, having the
What's the point of having lesser evils and them being special, considering like everyone's just farming them at this point?
choice to click on the Belial eyes to summon a champion pack. That's great. No more backtracking in the pit because those champions count as extra monsters. Helltide taken over by Duriel is cool with the new Duriel themed monsters, and it's super rewarding with the juicing via divine gifts. Then getting a giant...
Am I the only one who knows that in Diablo 4 there's like, I don't know, 20 monster types, but it for some reason feels like there's only 2 monster types? Am I the only one who is always getting that feeling?
Asmodan as our first new world boss is awesome.
And whenever I see actually more than those 2 enemy types, it gets bad.
I just love the scale of him. Very fitting for a great evil. Then I finally did try the tower, and I actually love it. It really feels like Diablo 3 Greater Rifts, and it actually makes me kind of hate the pit now. I'm not sure I can dial in precisely why, but I just have much more fun running the tower than the pit. So
was Asmongold actually a greater evil? You know, all the original boss Xatan, Dariel, and Duriel were greater evils in Diablo 2. Was Asmodan a greater evil? I don't fucking remember.
Something maybe about map layouts or monster spawns. The one downside of the tower, we really need a Bane of the Stricken. Some builds have very weak single target, and it's going to take you half of your tower duration just to take out the Rift Guardian at the end, which is not fun. The Bane of the Stricken was a legendary gem.
Well, that's the trick about Diablo 4. It's not fun. It's not supposed to be fun. The developers who are constantly every single day saying, "We're listening to you," literally came out in the newest Striker interview and said, well, the soonest we can implement any feedback from players is like 1, maybe 2 years in. Man, that's the kind of listening I want. Don't know about you, but man, that's some good listening right there.
Diablo 3 that we used to deal an accelerating damage buff to enemies, meaning the more you hit an enemy, the more of a damage buff you gain against that enemy. They added this into Diablo 3 specifically to solve the problem of us taking half of our rift time.
Oh, I remember that.
Just to kill the Guardian. At this point, just make it a buff that's active in the tower, period, right? There's no way to implement it as an item, just...
The fact that Diablo 4 literally went, hey, look, we're POE but for retards is kind of special in my eyes. That's a great actual title. Holy shit. Okay, let me write that one down. Diablo 4 went POE but for retard. There we go. That's a great title. 10 out of 10 me.
Make it a tower buff. On a similar note, the pylons having a shield around them before they can be used. My Dance of Knives rogue took forever to kill the Rift Guardian and actually could not even afford to take the time to clear the shields on the pylons. Like, the time to free the pylon was greater than the time I saved by equipping the pylon. You know, this is after testing. I just started skipping all pylons, and
I have no idea what do those words mean.
Realized I was improving my times. Now, this was just with my...
But knowing Diablo 4 in general, I'm assuming that's some kind of mechanic that already exists, but now is bigger. And still worse somehow.
My Dance of Knives rogue, literally every other class had no issue. Anyway, moving on from the tower. The season rank change is great. Starting off at level 1, earning the bonus skill points feels good. The new capstone dungeons are awesome with cool mechanics. I much prefer season rank to season journey. There still are kind of some bogus...
Bro, what is this text?
I much prefer season...
Time cannot diminish the power of destiny.
Rank.
What am I supposed to read that? Become unstoppable and hinged and get great increased movement speed. Bro, am I reading a book now?
Season journey. There still are kind of some bogus goals in there, but you know, the 1 to 60 is faster and more fun than ever, though they do need to nerf the XP from bosses you can summon like Asmodan. Then Sanctification, an optional Gamba slam mechanic to try to power up your item with a risk of ruining it and a good chance of not really benefiting from it, and a slight chance of getting a godly modifier on it. This is a good mechanic to have in the game.
Is it?
And many people will hate it and complain about it in the first few days.
Well, it actually is, but knowing Diablo 4, people are going to complain, they're going to make it easier, and there you go, another system that literally is a chore.
Season. Many people will not see it for what it is.
You gotta give Blizzard props for being able to take systems that are actually kind of fun. Like the Whispering Tree previously was great. It was the greatest system in Diablo 4, by the way. You know, it was that small tidbit of a reward you got time to time done. It was great. And then there was gambling, you know, with unidentified items. That was pretty good also, you know? And then Blizzard just took those things that were fun, changes of pace, you know? And then they fucking made them into chores. You really have to appreciate how great Diablo 4 devs are taking things that are somehow actually not doing bad in the current environment of the game and just completely fucking them up. Completely ruining everything. You gotta appreciate that. That's a special level of talent. That you have to be talented to ruin everything that much. How do you take something that exists and make it into Zoomer slop?
Will expect it to be a strictly beneficial thing, and they'll be pissed when they realize it is not. There is a kind of player that likes these slam and pray mechanics. Generally, it's the kind of player who can sink a lot of time into the game and farm up enough gear to have multiple backups to brick. But then there's a kind of player who doesn't have the time or desire to farm lair bosses for 8 hours to then back to back to back slam a bunch of items, hoping for one of them to be good. And I think this group of player is going to be disappointed that one of the flagship season mechanics is something they won't want to engage with. Then the updates to healing. I like the change to Fortify being a heal mechanic. It's a cool idea. But overall, I don't feel like the updates to healing really changed anything in gameplay. I don't feel incentivized to spec towards life on hit or healing in general, because whenever I do die, I die in like half a second. So I have no time to heal anyway. I'm sometimes getting one shot, and sometimes I'm just taking so much damage so quickly that it really doesn't matter how much healing I have. In practice, there's just rarely a situation where I end up low on health and need to heal. I'm either at full hit points or I'm dead. The Divine Gifts, this is the juicing mechanic where we get extra challenge and extra reward in different game modes. Really cool system conceptually. When you first equip these Divine Gifts, they're awesome, but you're gonna forget they exist completely by day 3.
True, based and real.
Once you've unlocked them all,
all the mechanics that we have had in every single fucking season have literally not mattered. Except the vampire ones, okay? Because the vampire ones actually allowed you to do builds around them. Remember the rogue that could dodge and wipe the whole screen? That was at least unique and interesting, right? Maybe it's not exactly balanced per se, but it is unique and interesting. It definitely is. And, well, everything else. Again, I actually thought that Diablo is gonna have a really good season with the boss power update. And it looked so promising. People were making builds around the boss powers, and then the Diablo 4 devs saw that and they were like, they're actually using the seasonal mechanic and they think it's fun. Nerf that shit. They did. The whole point of why I thought the boss power season actually could have been a success, and it would have been actually the best season yet, if they just allowed us to actually make builds around the boss fucking powers. It was that simple. That's simple. And they saw like, people are making builds around the boss powers, not the actual skill twig. We can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. That was... They're just... How do they make every bad decision ever? How? And people find a way to teleport. Delete that. A barbarian can leap through the whole map in 3 seconds. Yeah, that checks out. Like, there's no sense. There's literally no sense to the decision making. Teleporting bad, barbarian leaping, aka teleporting, that's okay. Like, how does any of that make any sense? It doesn't. I don't understand. No, seriously. This is an unbelievable level of understanding your player base and what actual people want so poorly that you have flipped it on itself. And it's like you're intentionally trying to make the game worse somehow.
Really no interaction with the system anymore. They're there. They're leveling up passively. They're benefiting you more and more. They're doing their thing. And the thing they're doing is great, but you're just gonna forget they exist. It would have been cool to have more interaction with the system somehow. Generally with juicing mechanics, applying the juice is a moment of interaction, reminds you that it's there. Or if it's some kind of...
Riker is he's this far away from actually figuring out the main problems with the game. Riker is so close because he is talking negatively and poorly about these retard mechanics that are just, passive plus 5% damage boosts that actually have no value or anything to the gameplay. It's just plus 5% damage. That's boring. No one likes that. And he talks poorly about these things. So often he does. But yet at the same time, when Diablo 4 devs introduce a new system that's literally brain fucking damaged and requires nothing and is just another multiplicative system, Riker is like, this could be good. Yeah. Another system that we have had previously and it failed. This could be it, boys. This could actually be a game changer. Like, how is he so close but so far at the same time?
The passive skill tree thing, putting points into the tree, it's a moment of interaction. Anything where we're making choices. Then, Masterworking. I really didn't have a problem with the previous Masterworking system. I know a lot of people hated having to keep trying to re-roll for the 3 crit masterwork. I would never bother. Whatever 12 I landed on, I would keep that. But we've completely changed the masterworking system now, and this one is far more boring. Increasing the quality before the capstone just feels like a chore, especially with the material cost versus material acquisition.
Well, how are you gonna... the materials are probably no one cares because there's not a single material in Diablo 4 that's hard to acquire, because the moment there is something hard to acquire, the people scream and Blizzard is like, oh no! Throw more slop in their faces.
Rate. I was actually surprised to see how long it was taking to quality up my items. And the tiny increases in quality are imperceptible if you're doing it gradually. It's really only if you're dumping all 20 points in at once that you feel any appreciable difference. The capstone though, that one's cool. Honestly, I wouldn't mind doing away with the quality entirely and just leaving us with the capstone. But then it would be too easy to capstone, I suppose. So quality feels like it's a chore because that's basically what it is. It exists to stop us from capstoning too quickly. Ultimately, most of the fun has been taken out of Masterworking now. Then the biggest change, the defenses rework to an ever-increasing toughness stat system. Does it bring the game into a better balance state?
Of course
Maybe,
not.
Probably. I'm willing to bet at high-level gameplay that it does make the game better balanced. But does it make the game feel better to play? Not for me. I don't really care about the balance of the game at pit level 120. Most people are not playing at that level, and it just feels like the removal of clear defense goals, armor 1000, max resistances. It just feels it's going to make it more confusing for players who don't follow build guides to understand how best to improve their defenses. So, all of that combined with this being a nerf season, because we're losing all the power that Masterworking gave us, And we're coming off of a huge power creep season because the season 10 powers were super strong. And we're losing Chaos Armor that everyone loved, and we're losing Chaos Rifts that altogether had us playing in more diverse activities than ever. We weren't locked in Lair Boss Jail, and I think for many people, Season 11 will be less fun than Season 10. But we'll have to see what the final patch notes are. But what are your thoughts, folks? Sound off in the comments. Now, we did not get a Halloween event for Diablo 4 this year. We did sort of get one last year. It was basically just log in and
Does anyone even care about the Halloween events?
claim some cosmetics. This time we got Bupkis. I suppose they took to heart people saying they'd rather have nothing at all than a low effort event. Still, it would be nice to get some tentpole events in Diablo 4. Diablo Immortal has...
Yeah, I was gonna say, Diablo Immortal still reigns supreme as the unironically highest quality game. Diablo 4, a full fucking blown PC release, is lower quality still than the Diablo Immortal, and that's probably never gonna change at this point, which is the funniest part.
Some big Halloween festivities going on for almost a full month, complete with multiple custom game modes. What we are getting in D4, however, is multiple back-to-back booster events, which I'm glad for. I think it's a good idea to have some kind of event going on regularly, rotating through different boosters to help new players catch up or otherwise just add some diversity to the rotation of daily players. From November 4th to November 11th, it's all about Infernal Hordes. We're getting more Infernal Compasses to drop. There's going to be more Chaos Waves in Infernal Hordes. That's sick. And apparently increased Ether drops as well. And this comes right after the Mother's...
Yeah, I guess I don't care about any of those things. Well, in any case, that was Riker, 10 out of 10. As always, have a nice day. Bye!